So in my X community, I had one of my community members ask about what is it that I do as a project manager. So let's get to it. So what I'm doing as a software project manager for the last 3 years and onwards, we have a registration or a registrar software that handles our licensing and inspection data that we gather from our inspections and from the licensing applications. And that program is made with jQuery back in 2009, so it's kind of getting deprecated. So my job as a software project manager is to get us a new one up and running. So what that means, we did a lot of architectural investigations to the database, the data flows, and everything. Of course, I knew the software pretty well because I'd been using it for more than 10 years. So there's 230 something tables on the database. So I really needed to get a grip of what actually is going on in that software when people are using it. And that took about a year, because we also did full scale documentation, and this was well before ChatGPT or anything that could have helped me. So I've written multiple hundreds and hundreds of documentation pages just to get a good documented situational awareness that can be then shared with the production team when that happens. And then we obviously did a customer usage questionnaire. We wanted to find out that with all our key customers and everyone who actually has their data in the database, we took a sample size worthy enough from different kind of operations that are registered in the database and ask them how would they like to see the future when we are renewing our software, and what kind of things they would love to see in it. There's a thunderstorm coming up. So if this video turns into inside, it's because of us, me and the dog, getting hit by a thunderstorm. Apart from the actual customer and licensee questionnaire, we did a data collection from the users on the organization side, and asked them what kind of features they would love to see in the software and what are their expectations. We're of course selling a broken down vehicle, because the MVP is never going to be as good as the one that is operational now, but due to constant upgrade pipeline, it's going to be a better thing in the end. A lot of modern things are going to be added, maybe some ML, and of course a lot of automated reporting and automated things. Because at the moment it's actually something we get like stuff in, and the users have to retype everything that has been typed into a form already, it's just a wasted time. And the estimations for how much there's gonna be saved time and money are pretty promising compared to the estimations of the first 3 phases of the software coming out. Of course, all of this needs to be okayed by the management and the budget side. So we have been doing a lot of budgeting and just estimations on how much this fund is going to be cost, and then we're just gonna pitch it to the higher ups on the decision pipeline and hierarchy. So they're going to be deciding whether we are going to go with what kind of changes and how fast we're going to make the first MVP out of our idea is to make it as simple and fast as possible, just to ship fast, fix it, make it better, add stuff into it. On the side, we've obviously had to start another project and make it understandable that this side project that's going to be looking into the actual workflows within the organizations on the departments that do the licensing and do end up using the software, because due to the automations and whatnot, there's going to be like the first 5 years we're going to be saving thousands of hours of manual labor typing in stuff thanks to the new software, and that's obviously going to free up a lot of time. So the organization have to start thinking what kind of changes into their workflow and processes they have to be doing in order to, well, keep everyone busy. On a technical side, obviously I've been building a lot of charts, roadmaps and whatnot that we do have to sell upwards and downwards, and we have been gathering a lot of data for anyone who's interested in joining us. We need the subject matter specialists within for the workshops, as the sprints are about to begin next fall. So we need a lot of actual users that are going to be checking out that there's not going to be anything stupid that we're planning, and that they can kind of like safeguard their things, that we don't throw out anything that we might find unnecessary to have, but they find very high interest. So basically, as a software project manager, I'm sitting in between the high up management of the organization and the actual end users. So kind of like the tactical layer of this between the strategic and the workforce layers. So that's how you have to position yourself in the current organization, and then you're kind of speaking up and down the hierarchy and making sure that people are happy what we're doing. When it comes to documentation, I've been writing, last year I calculated, I wrote 240 pages of documentation, and that is including all the Word documents and all of the PDFs, and I did 51 PowerPoint presentations and a number of Excels. I built several Gantt charts and whatnot for the current year that year, and now I've been building the and maintaining the Gantt chart, actually using Mermaid.js, and it pushes out HTML, so you can it's a pretty nice tool to use this JavaScript library as a coder. So yeah, I definitely recommend on checking out Mermaid.js. They have pretty good documentation, and they have like a live playground where you can try out different flow charts, because that's easy to push them out as HTML and keep them updated. So each time I show them, they're going to be updating and they're going to show the current day thanks to the HTML and web technologies. So instead of painfully updating some kind of a Excel chart or whatever, it's pretty good, it's a nice tool to try out. So definitely give it a spin, Mermaid.js. So as what I've been up to this year, we first I did the entire licensing and inspection data flows into all kinds of flowcharts that are now shipped into the architecture company. We did a bidding competition for the architecture project, and that actually, as I work in GovTech, we're using taxpayers' monies, so there's all kinds of rules and regulations on how we have to do like all the due diligence to get the bidding right, and if we fail on that, we're going to be needing to do it again. But yeah, we did it, and wow, the thunderstorm coming. We did that it took almost like a month and a half to just get everything right. So there's kind of the difference between like a very agile coding company where you are a software project manager. The biggest difference is probably the fact that we use taxpayer money, and the fact that we do have to, as a GovTech or government authority doing tech, we have to apply to all the strict rules that are applied to the governmental bodies and authorities. So yeah, it's kind of a nice thing because you don't have to stress so much on the speed of things like happening very fast paced. So you got time to just look into that. But the budgeting, then again, is kind of a stress point because we have to be very tight on the budget. So everything needs to be planned very well so we don't go overboard. So now at the current moment, we are just working together with the data architecture company who's going to be planning all the data flows and whatnot, and do rough estimations on the difficulty of the actual end product. The goal of this phase of the software project is to get all that settled out, and then next year we're going to start the bidding competition for the actual software to be built, and that's another monster. But then we have all the documentation from the architecture company, and it's going to be that much easier because they will be consults within the bidding until we get the actual company to start building the software. So when we finally next year get the competition, it might take from anything from between 3 to 6 months to do the bidding and all the end results, and go through the possible complaint timing and whatnot. So next year is going to be half filled with that, and then after that we're just going to be start doing the phase 1 for the actual software building. So we have this entire thing for shipping the MVPs for the 3 different sections of this authority that is doing the work for the organization. It's going to take about 5 years so the first 3 phases should be done in 2030. So we're going to be overlooking all the phases of the different sections of the software, and I'm probably going to be hit by lightning soon. Anyway, so we're overlooking all that, and if all goes well, we're going to have the end product by the end of 2030. And how it's going to go is that we're going to do the phase 1, and after that is done, during the phase 1, the phase 2 and phase 3 are already prepping all their documentation and prepping all their budgeting and prepping everything to be ready when we put the phase 1 into production me and my team, we're going to jump into the phase 2, which is going to be then the architecture sprint, and then start the production of the phase 2. And all the while on the side, the workflow project is going to be handling all the changes that are going to be upon these departments and their people who work there. So we're going to be monitoring that it follows suit with the project phases correctly, and yeah, we're just going to be jumping into phase 2. There's going to be a product manager chosen for the phase 1. He's going to then take care of the kind of like the DevOps cycle handling. So he or she is going to be then overseeing that all the backlogs are going to get done correctly, and they're going to be publishing new features over new features while we are doing the architecture and whatnot for the phase 2. Same thing when the phase 2 goes into production. Me and my team are again jumping to phase 3, hold the architecture sprints, and push onwards through that towards production, while phases 1 and 2 keep their product updates and whatnot going. So there's going to be another product manager who is going to be handling the phase 2 updates and upgrades. And when the third phase is done, it's going to be 5 years within the contract with the software company, and by law we're then most likely having to go for another bidding and see who is going to be taking on the next 5 years or so, or even 3 years. So that's how this project is going. So obviously after 2030 we're just going to be overseeing any other new features and handling all the big picture. And then we have a bunch of stuff lined up for phases 4 and 5 and whatnot. So we haven't just planned that far yet. So we're just gonna most likely take over those 2. And geez, thunder is creeping in behind. So yeah, we're just gonna continue onwards after 2030, and the kind of agile way of constant upgrades and feature additions will continue for the remaining phases until they are happy with what they got. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting. Plus there's always the user side of things. There's going to be new additions for the users too. So for the customer side of things, actually not the users are going to be in our organization, the main users, but the customers, they have all kinds of wishes too. So we're just going to be overlooking what feature requests are coming in from there. If there's some things that are actually worth using money for to keep adding. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or connect me in X and DM. My DMs are always open. And if you want to see some of those tools that I use, I can make a video out of them. Just let me know in the comments, and have a good one. See you in the next video, unless I get struck by lightning.